Hello, today is July 26th, 2020. I now haven't left Bristol to go anywhere other than Swindon or London in 6 months. So today I'm going on an adventure. I'm very bad at planning these things, but the general notion is I'm going to get the train down to Exeter, that's already booked, and I'm going to get another train down to Teignmouth, and then walk back along the south coast to Starcross. If the ferry's running today from Starcross, then I might get that across to Exmouth and then wend my way back along the other side of the coast, potentially on foot. But yeah, I'm going to take you with me. I've tried to plan as much of today as possible so I don't need to rely on anything due to the whole COVID-19 annoyance, let's call it that. So I've got 2 litres of water and Pepsi in my bag, I've got my food for the day. There is of course one slight problem in that I'm probably going to need the loo at some point between now, it's currently 7:30 AM, and about 9:30 tonight when I finally get home. But we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Anyway, less talking, more travel. To the trains. The mask is on, I'm at the station, let's do this. So far so good, made it as far as Exeter. It's the next train that I'm worried about though, because that goes to at least 3 separate seaside towns, possibly 4. So if anything's going to be busy, it'll be that. If there's one thing to be said for all of this, is that it does seem to have generally made public transport quieter. Like the train coming down here was allegedly sold out, according to the website, and there were maybe 5 other people in my entire carriage. First class accommodation can be found in... The train to Teignmouth was reasonably quiet, the town itself less so. Under normal circumstances that wouldn't be a concern, but was more so with the current state of the world. I still had a bit of a look around though, and to use my dad's words, Teignmouth has a subtle air of pleasantness. It's not flashy or in your face, more understatedly picturesque while still offering everything a seaside town should. The pier juts out from a stone cedar fence on which the promenade sits, lined with art and benches to sit on to watch the world go by. Set back from there's a public park with amusements and cafes and open space, while historic buildings form the backdrop. However, not one for sticking around for too long, I set off, quickly encountering the railway line which would become an ever-present part of the walk. Just outside of Teignmouth, a horde of people were standing in front of it, and as it turned out, this was what they were waiting for, the beautiful Royal Scot steam train on an excursion to King's Weir. After a windswept attempt to talk about Teignmouth in front of the sign, I set off once again on the only thing audible in this clip, my 8-mile-ish walk that way to Starcross. I took a brief excursion through some bushes back to the coast path, which frankly seemed more daring at the time, then continued down the easy-to-follow path along the sea wall, with largely just trains, birds, and the ocean for company. There are so many trains, it's so weird being sandwiched on one side between the railway line and then on the other side just the ocean with nothing to... Like, there is literally just this thin strip of concrete, a small wall, and the occasional person. It's brilliant, I love it. Okay, well that's 2 trains now in the space of about probably half a mile, if that. It's just lovely here, like the scenery is just so good. Oh, here's another train now. 3 trains, I stand corrected. It's just mad. I know this is like the only way into Cornwall by train, but yeah, I just didn't realise there were quite so many down here. Also, this view still doesn't get any worse. Sun's coming out, this is lovely. Might have to put the sunglasses on before long. So this is where I've just come from. Still not that far away from Teignmouth, you can basically see the houses over in the distance roughly there. I assume that's the back end of Teignmouth. Haven't come far. I'm slightly worried that I can't actually go this way to get to Dawlish, but I think it's right. I just don't quite understand how this tunnel situation works. If I can cross over or under or round, we're all good. After another train and a brief stop to admire the scenery, I came across these small steps leading to a very narrow pathway under the railway. This answered the question of how I get beyond the railway, but not so much what the route forward was. I'm going to guess it's up here, but I honestly have no idea at this point, and looking at a map would be, to be honest, defeatist. So I'm going to hope for the best and just walk this way. What else are adventures for? I was boring and looked at a map because frankly this main road doesn't really scream coastal walk, but it turns out if I turn right here I can meet the path back over the other side of the headland thing, and all will hopefully be okay. Maybe. There's still time for everything to go wrong, it probably will. Success. Sign that said coast path. This must be it. Downside of not having walked on anything really but tarmac for the past 6 months is that when you get onto this, well, whatever this is, dirt, rocks, roots, whatever isn't tarmac basically, it's quite heavy going. It's quite a warm day. I'm trying to minimise the amount of fluids that I drink just so that I'm sure I've got stuff for later. But yeah, it's hard going. I'm sure it'll get better as the day goes on. Still going, can't be far. I think I can see the sea, or hints of the sea, through those bushes there. I have found the coast. Here it is. I don't know how I get down to it because I'm far too high. There's another path over there that looks as though it might have been slightly more useful, gradually reaching the coast. This is sloping down a little bit more than I'd like, but it'll do. Come from over there, all the way down here, literally reach sea level, well, pretty much, and then have to climb all the way back up. Coastal paths for you. Found my way back up to road level again, but I think I'm going in the right direction because, well, frankly, there isn't another direction. Coast path, that's what we like to see. Very close to the sea. See, and there it is. We've climbed miles above it again. Here we go. I knew it wouldn't be far. There is Dawlish. Looks like under normal circumstances you could go down here, get to that part, and then walk all the way along the seawall. Unfortunately, due to the flood protection that they're doing just there, it doesn't look as though that's actually possible right now. So I guess we have to head down the other side of the railway line and then cross back over somewhere down by the station. Dawlish is beautiful. The town is built around the brook that flows through to the sea, dividing the town in two. Ready to greet you are the black swans, introduced from New Zealand in the 1940s and are now a symbol for the town. The brook has waterfall after waterfall, and ducks and swans are everywhere. Small shops, mostly independent, line either side of the park and stream. Dawlish is also famous for its station, right on the seafront and open to the elements. In windy conditions you can literally be splashed, or worse, whilst waiting on the platform. It may be a bit wet. The black swans may not want to know about me and are keeping their heads under the water every time I go near them. But I love it here. I love water, I like good scenery. This has got everything I want. I pushed forward along the coast and down the breakwater where I reflected on how much Dawlish had exceeded expectations, but as it turns out, it's quite windy with literally no protection from the weather, so the audio here is completely unusable. However, I didn't know that at the time, so in high spirits I set back off along the coast, witnessing the famous Dawlish Red Rock, more trains, and some of the best scenery that the Devon coast has to offer. Before long, I was in Dawlish Warren, Dawlish's, let's say, fun little brother. Here all of Dawlish's quaint charm is swapped for flat-out seaside fun with rides, a go-kart track, amusements and tourist-focused shops. With fun, however, comes people, so once more I set off, briefly noting these flags of our crumbling union at one of the restaurants near the sea wall. So sit-rep, Dawlish, really nice. Dawlish Warren, really nice. Either Dawlish, really busy. Enjoying it so far. Starcross isn't too far away, just over there somewhere. Probably another 2 miles or so until Starcross. And then, once I get there, I should probably have a drink, get something to eat, and then figure out what I'm doing from there. So I've ended up walking on sand, which is incredibly tiring just because you sink in about a foot. I suppose I should have expected this coming near the sea, but again, it's been a while, I've forgotten these facts of life. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to quite literally dip my toes in. You can even see that. I brought... If you've ever wondered how sand dunes happen, apparently they just put big black plastic bag things in them, fill them up with stuff and then tip sand over. So I imagine they're supposed to look slightly better than that. Currently they don't. I'm still on the beach. I guess that's Starcross, unless that's not. I'm really lost now. Okay, slight miscalculation. Turns out the bit I'm on at the moment is actually a kind of nature reserve slash beachy bit. I can't really get round to the coast to go up towards Starcross from here. I'm back roughly where I started. I think I need to go and find the bridge that I passed probably about an hour ago now, that goes over the railway line, and then carry on that side for a while and then come back. I don't see any way of getting across sensibly on this side. There may be, but I'm not going to risk it. I already got lost once and I'd quite like to do some other stuff, otherwise I'm not going to have time. Back on something of a sensible trail. Went through the roads in Dawlish Warren for a while, past a supermarket called Gerald, went through a very, very narrow bridge that probably means that I am now diseased because, well, everybody is these days, and frankly there's very little space to do social distancing there. It's annoying, there's a lot of people, but whatever. 1 mile towards Cockwood, 2 miles to Starcross. I'm very tired, and yeah, if I don't do anything else I have at least 7 miles left today. I'm already on about 28,000 steps. But it's been a good day. The weather has, for the most part, held up. On the approach to Cockwood, I saw some cows. And then, more importantly, I discovered these to the right of the path, the Cockwood Steps. Leading up to a level crossing, the stairs on the other side dropped down to a rocky area near the estuary, likely consumed at high tide. It was a beautiful spot, with views across the estuary to Exmouth and beyond. It was so nice I felt the need to talk at length there, all whilst the microphone was turned off. After realising my stupidity, I crossed the railway line, remembering to check in both directions, and then continued onwards towards Cockwood. I made it to deepest, darkest Cockwood. Doesn't have many paths, which is frustrating because I've gone from having literally no traffic to contend with to literally walking down a single track road with cars coming in both directions. Always difficult to know what to do in those situations, but I just kind of aim forwards and hope for the best. I'm hoping there's actually going to be some kind of sensible path somewhere. I feel like I'm missing something because you must be able to walk this. There's a coastal path all the way along, and this is not safe. That looks a bit like a path over there. There's also a big sign that says Starcross, so I must be close. This is definitely a path. You can see Exmouth, potentially even Topsham over in the very far distance over there. Orchard this side. Lots of traffic, but doesn't matter, I'm safe for the time being. It looks like the walk now is just entirely pavement up to Starcross. I don't think I'm quite going to have time to make the ferry, which means I'm going to have to get a train. Kind of disappointing, but I am running out of time. That detour back at Dawlish Warren really cost me. Probably knocked about an hour out of my time budget. But never mind, it was fun anyway. Can always come back some other time and do the other side, but we'll figure something out. Plans changed slightly. When I got to Starcross, I had missed the ferry, if it was even running in the first place. However, the train was just pulling in that went to Exeter, or where I currently am, Topsham, which is a town I went to a couple of times when I was in my late teens. There's a house way down by the river that I went to on holiday a couple of times, so I'm going to explore for like an hour or so, get the train back, and then I won't have much time left to kill until I can get the train to Bristol. Topsham is a former port nestled on the eastern side of the Exe estuary, halfway between Exeter and Exmouth. Unlike those places, Topsham feels maybe not quite forgotten by time, more like time is aware of its existence, but realises it's kind of perfect as it is. There are a few facelifts here and there, but by and large the town is a throwback to a bygone age of fishing and shipbuilding. There's a real sense of community too, everybody feels like they know each other, and there's enough trust for this community book box to exist vandal-free. At the end of the town you reach the Goat Walk, which follows the estuary for 100 metres or so, and has great views down to Exmouth and across the estuary to Starcross. Can't lie, I'm just walking in the estuary now, but you know, it's a new surface to add to my collection. See how far out I can get before I start sinking. That's probably a terrible idea, I do have a train in about 20 minutes. It's good here. Come to Topsham, it's worth a look. You might want to go to Exmouth, that's fine, but on the way back, just stop here for an hour, wander about. I'm going to slip over any second now. I spent 2 weeks of my life here, albeit a long time ago. Never been around here, now I have been. I don't seem to be sinking too much, however it is looking wetter and wetter. Yeah, that's as far as I'm getting, but I am basically just in the mud now. I am sinking slightly, so I'm going to get out of here. I need to go and get a train. Topsham. It's been lovely. Well, I think that's about the end of the day. I'm back at Exeter. I've got about an hour to kill before my train leaves. The station's just over there, so frankly I'm just going to go for a brief wander around things that look reasonably quiet, like this rather lovely park. This has been fun. If you're still watching, then well, I made this video, which is a good start, and thank you for making it this far. Leave a like, subscribe, all that YouTube stuff. I don't know, I don't really care, I just wanted to do this as a project. I might do more of these. It's been fun and it gives me an excuse to get out of the house. Exploring's really fun, and damn, I have missed it. Until next time.